What is the biggest this relationship won't last red flag you've ever seen at a wedding? 1. The groom spent almost the entire wedding glued to his female work colleague, to the point that the bride had to drag him away for their first dance. They also kept going off somewhere together. A friend tried to follow them outside, but it was too dark to locate them. You could see the obvious hurt on the bride's face throughout the day. Prior to the wedding, he'd taken his colleague away abroad for his stag do, just the two of them, despite the bride's protests. And in his wedding speech, he pointed his colleague out and told her that he'd had the best time of his life that weekend. They're still together at the moment, but I don't see it being the happy ending that the bride was so desperate for. 2. I wasn't actually there, but a girl I went to school with posted a video of her ceremony on FB. The groom was so wasted the best man had to hold him upright. Lots of swaying and random, incoherent babbling. Bride didn't seem particularly fazed by it and had a sort of yup, just ignore him, and let's get on with it kind of attitude. There was also an album of photos and the groom was flipping off the camera in literally every pic he was in. I was honestly shocked that the officiant went through with the ceremony, and doubly shocked she put it out there for everyone to see. 3. During the vows the bride laughed at the for richer or poorer part, and wouldn't say it. Somehow they're still going strong. I sure hope he never loses his job. 4. At my brother's first wedding, his fiance's dad came into the room we were using to get ready and told my brother that if he wanted to leave that he would take care of all the people inside, and he wouldn't even be mad. My brother did it anyway. Divorced 4 months later, her dad knew it was going to be all bad. 5. The father of the bride made a speech about how he saw his daughter organizing the groom over time. Basically, instead of telling a story of their burgeoning love, it was a tale of how she began to control him over time. It was cringy. Lasted 3 years. 6. At the reception there is a local tradition for the groomsmen to steal the bride. Basically they do a quick bar hop and come back to continue the reception. My husband was a groomsman, and as more than an hour passed I finally called him. He said she was having a blast and wouldn't leave. The groom had arrived back after about 30 minutes, laughed it off at first, then was relieved when she finally blew back and totally smashed. They made it about 2 months after that. 7. I wasn't at a family member's wedding, but looking at the pictures and video I upset my mom by saying I give it 2 years, tops. There were easily twice as many pics of the groom with his mother as there were of the bride and groom, and the pics were odd. Mom was hanging all over the groom, so much so that it looked like they were a couple. They were separated about a year and a half later, the bride and groom. As far as I know, the groom and his mom are still together. 8. The groom hated the bride's family. Groom's family didn't approve of the bride. It was very awkward at a wedding. Bride makes her promises something along the lines of I promise to try and be worthy of your family, etc., and we all raise eyebrows at each other. The groom's speech is all about how much he has helped his bride change for the better and how he made her what she is. My eyebrows are practically falling off the top of my head at this point. It's been a few months, so I guess we will wait and see. 9. Attended a wedding where the bride talked, not about her love for him or how great he is, but more about how he changed so much of his personality for her, and how that made everything perfect. Like I'm so glad I met this piece of clay. I was able to mold him into the exact form I wanted, then fire him in a kiln and marry him. Yikes.